What is up, guys? It's Scott from Oak Societies, and I am back. It has been 3 full days since I made my last video, and my god, it feels like it was an eternity since the last time I did this. I needed a break. I also wasn't feeling well the last 2 days. I got no sleep because of my son, for one. I just had headaches, my throat was killing me, I was training a lot of people at work, so I had no voice, there was no way I could do a video, but here I am, guys, to get back up and going and running strong here. And guys, we are at a solid 299 subscribers. I'm just waiting any second now for anyone to hit that subscribe button to make me hit 300. We are so close, and it's gonna happen by today. I'm very confident. But it's good to be back, guys. I'm glad to be making videos again. Here to give you amazing content as always. And as I was setting up all my sites and my news and the research, news broke that the autopsy came out and is revealed for Epstein. I'm going to play that video. It's just going to be a minute video from Fox News there. And we're going to go into some Epstein articles. We're going to be looking at some Project Veritas, the Google leak, the new Google Insider leak, and we're going to be looking at some technology that the Navy has patented and has been made for public consumption, and we're going to get into that at the end. So we're going to get into a lot of different topics here. I've said this in some previous videos, I don't want to just focus on politics and news and shit like that. I do want to expand into secret space program things, topics, aliens, UFOs, technology, all of this stuff is all connected. And especially if you follow Q, you know the references to the secret space programs. There are drops about it. So you can't just focus on government, what's going on with Trump, Epstein, all that stuff. You have to have a well-rounded view of the world. And that is what this channel is all about, and you guys know that by now. So, with that being said, let's get into it. So this title of the video is Epstein Autopsy Report Reveals Cause of Death. Here we go.
Gallagher, breaking news on the Epstein autopsy reports. Trace.
Yeah, the autopsy has now dropped, Charles, and we are being told they have ruled, the medical examiner, this was a suicide, saying that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself at 6:30 in the morning. That would be last Saturday morning, and that it was suicide, that he tied a bed sheet to the bunk in his cell, and that he knelt toward the floor. This is not going to calm the critics because so far we haven't got any information about maybe potentially how he did this. All it says is he tied the bed sheet to the bunk and knelt toward the floor. The big controversy in all of this for the past couple of days has been if in fact or how, in fact, he broke his hyoid bone, which is near the Adam's apple in men. He also, according to the Washington Post, broke several other bones. We're waiting for an actual hard copy of the autopsy so we can go through it line by line. The headline is they're ruling this as a suicide. They have not changed their mind. The question becomes, will they answer the questions as to how he got these numerous broken bones?
So there you have it, guys. The rest of the video is just more speculation, obviously. And in my opinion on all this is just going to make the public question more of these big stories from these news media outlets. And they call it conspiracy theories, but guys, conspiracy theories is not what the term used to mean anymore. People like me and all the other people out there that do this, we are just trying to get to the truth. And a lot of stuff that's been talked about for years and years have not been conspiracy theories. It's been us grasping for the truth and to get it out to the public, and that's what this is all about. Obviously, none of us believe how it's being portrayed as it seems. For him to break all these bones in his neck, it had to be a pretty violent act, a lot of force to break these bones. And I'm hoping the information comes out as to exactly what that is, as the reporter was saying with the autopsy. But it's official now, and this wasn't even going to be in my video till I saw it come up on my phone. But it's been officially ruled a suicide. It's on the books, which we were kind of all expecting, but it is what it is at this point. So we'll just have to see. Let me just get into the article that I originally was going to start with, which is what I think could possibly have happened. It wasn't a hanging, because there's nothing in the room to hang from. That's the weird part about all this. So when they found him, was he on his knees? Like, what did he tie any kind of bed sheet to or anything like that? Like, how? It just doesn't make sense. So this article from the Washington Examiner, the headline says, "Autopsy points to possibility Epstein was strangled." The autopsy of accused child sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein revealed multiple broken neck bones, just like the video said that we just watched, including his hyoid bone. That bone keeps getting mentioned, so I'm going to be on the lookout in the future for pretty much what this is. Findings that may be more consistent with strangulation than suicide by hanging, according to a new report released late Wednesday evening. The Washington Post article cited two people familiar with the findings of New York City's Office of Chief Medical Examiner, which is investigating the circumstances surrounding Epstein's death in his Metropolitan Correctional Center prison cell early Saturday morning. Studies show a broken hyoid bone, which in men is near the Adam's apple, is more common during homicidal strangulation than hanging. Nevertheless, research on the frequency of the hyoid bone breaking during a hanging varies greatly, from it being rare to fairly frequent, and it is generally agreed the chances of a broken hyoid bone during suicide by hanging increase with age as the three-jointed bones making up the hyoid harden and become more breakable. Epstein was 66 when he died. The Washington Post also cited anonymous sources stating Sampson's office is looking for more information about the hours leading up to Epstein's death, including checking out video evidence of the prison hallways, figuring out whether anyone came near or entered Epstein's cell, hearing what the on-duty guards have to say, and reviewing the toxicology report to determine what, if anything, was in Epstein's system around the time he died. Now, guys, that's what we really need to find out first and foremost. Let's see some video footage of what was going on in the hallways, at least. I know there's no cameras in the actual cells, which I found out. But let's see who was walking around, if someone slipped anything, like, into his cell, God knows what. Like, that's what we need to see before we start, like, going crazy with all these other theories that have been floating around out there. Again, it looks like there's a lot of variables, I guess, of what could happen if he was strangled or not with his bones. It depends on his age. We need some hard evidence to really figure out what's going on here. But this was mentioned. I thought would be something relevant to what's going on. So, would it surprise me if he was strangled and then maybe someone wrapped the sheet around him as he left, set it up as a hanging, and the medical examiner probably being paid by the deep state some way, somehow. I talked about him before in the last video, and he's going to go by the script that they give him and pay him a hefty dollar. So that's probably what's going to happen, but we'll have to see what goes on. So just hanging on to some Epstein stories real quick, and then we're going to move on to some different topics. I want to get into this one by the Daily Mail. Exclusive: Jeffrey Epstein shipped a $100,000 cement truck to Pedophile Island 3 weeks before damning expose was released, paying for a machine up front so it would arrive quicker, as experts say he could have literally covered up evidence. And there were some pictures in here. Jeffrey Epstein shipped a $50,000 cement truck to his private Caribbean island, Little St. James, on November 7th past year. Epstein sent the machine with an express bill of lading, an unusual and expensive way of shipping an item so that it arrives quickly. The 66-year-old who died by apparent suicide on Saturday was in such a hurry that he paid for the machine up front so it would arrive sooner. 3 weeks later, the Miami Herald published its expose on Epstein on November 28th, which eventually led to Epstein being arrested in July. Shipping experts told Daily Mail that the possibility that it was used to literally cover up evidence cannot be discounted. Other items sent to Epstein was a tile and carpet extractor that weighed 191 pounds and was sent to his New York home from the U.S. Virgin Islands on March 11th. Epstein also had an industrial shredder sent to his island in 2008, shortly after reaching a controversial non-prosecution agreement in Florida. Guys, what else could scream more? I'm going to be covering up shit and I don't want anyone else to see. Now, we all know that Q was on top of this back in 2018, before any of the mainstream was even talking about Epstein at all. And what do we see in the infamous drop 999? Epstein buried tunnels under temple. Chair of Peter serves the master. The chair serves the master. Who is the master? P equals C. Q. Why is Epstein spending $29 million to bury the tunnels underneath his temple on Epstein Island? Problem: Phones were allowed in. These people are stupid. And guys, again, we always reference the Rachel Chandler Instagram photo of the screenshot of the security cameras that were set up in all the rooms, where you see all the naked people. It looks like eating, the sex dungeon bedrooms, all that weird shit, right? But guys, look, this was from April 3rd, 2018. 2018, guys. Q was talking about this stuff before the mainstream media even had a whiff of what was going on with him. It's insane. And up right here, 100K cement truck, paper shredder, industrial paper shredder, and a carpet extractor and tile remover. What's on carpets and tile? Blood fiber, hair, all bodily fluids, right? He's covering himself up. He's covering up for himself, guys. And we all know the FBI raided the island. And like I was saying before, the real story starts when they actually, I don't know how much they're going to be getting into the island as far as underground, under the temple where all that shit was going down. But that's where the real story starts, guys. And that's the story that hasn't hit the public yet. And just like when I posted on Facebook and my Twitter, that is when people need to be prepared mentally and emotionally to realize when that news comes out, it's going to be very upsetting for a lot of people. People don't know that a bunch of elite pedophiles run the world. They don't know that. So this is going to be an eye-opener for a lot of people. So there you have it. And good old Ghislaine Maxwell. We were wondering where she was at, right? Well, according to this report, she was right out in Manchester by the Sea, Massachusetts. The property is owned by her tech CEO boyfriend, Scott Borgeson, 43, who has been running errands in the area and walking Maxwell's dog that can be seen. She's become a real homebody, rarely ventures out. She's the antithesis of the woman who traveled extensively and partied constantly with Epstein, a source familiar with Maxwell's new life, exclusively told DailyMail.com. Guaffrey claimed, remember Virginia Guaffrey, the one that she's the one that accused Epstein of selling her out to his pedophile friends, claimed Maxwell directed her to have sex with people including former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, who was a great friend of Bill Clinton, former U.S. Senator George Mitchell, modeling agent Jean-Luc Brunel, and financier Glenn Dubin. Maxwell called the claims entirely false, and the case was settled out of court. Of course she would fucking say that. There she is. And guys, it's going to be really funny when I show you this one. A tweet dropped by Praying Medic, screenshot of a New York Post article. Jeffrey Epstein's gal pal Ghislaine Maxwell spotted an In-N-Out burger in first photo since his death. There's her picture. That's obviously her. But what's mostly interesting about this is what Praying Medic tweeted about it. Ghislaine Maxwell, who has not been seen in public for 3 years, is suddenly found in a public place by the press reading a book on the lives and deaths of CIA agents. Message sent? Question mark. And you can see she's got a book, and this is what the book supposedly is. The title is Lives and Deaths of CIA Agents. Guys, the irony right there is insane. So there's still speculation that the CIA is heavily involved with Epstein, and that the CIA allowed there's a theory going on that they allowed him to do all these disgusting things to keep tabs on the elite, and this was the way for them to do it. And for her to be reading a book titled Lives and Deaths of CIA Agents, that's just crazy. That's crazy. But here she is, guys. I don't know why she hasn't been arrested. I'm sure she's been questioned. We'll just have to see what happens. I don't know everything, guys, but the shit's getting crazy. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. Now, this was thoroughly disturbing, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this now. I had to throw it in here because I couldn't believe what I was seeing when I saw it. Jeffrey Epstein had a painting of Bill Clinton wearing a blue dress and red heels and lounging in the Oval Office inside his Manhattan mansion. This reveals bizarre image inside pedophile's $56 million lair. Jeffrey Epstein had a bizarre portrait of Bill Clinton in a dress hanging in his Manhattan mansion. The picture depicting the former president apparently lounging in a chair in the Oval Office wearing red heels and posing suggestively in a blue dress. Redolent of Monica Lewinsky was in a room off the stairway of the Upper East Side townhouse. There it is, guys. Look how beautiful he is. Look how good he looks, right? I almost threw up in my mouth when I saw this. again, some of the shit that comes out, I'm like, man, is this real? Is this real sources? Can this be verified? And it is, guys. This shit's real. This was in his mansion. The painting was secretly snapped inside the pedophile's lavish $56 million home in October 2012, 4 years after Epstein completed his sweetheart deal for prostitution of a minor, and 7 years before he was accused of running a sex trafficking ring of underage girls. The source, who asked to remain anonymous, was visiting Epstein to present a business proposal and encounter with the pervert, which included spotting a girl who seemed to be 14 years old awaiting to see the financier. Guys, that was 2012, and that's what she saw. The woman said she was shocked to catch a sight of the portrait through an open door as she walked through the ornate home with her business partner. She told Daily Mail TV it was absolutely Bill Clinton. It was shocking. It was definitely a painting of him. It was a very provocative sexual picture. He was wearing heels, a blue dress, and his hand was in a weird position. There's the close-up of it, and there's the picture she took of through the door. It's so fucking weird, right? Like, it's just creepy as fuck. And there's the dress that they're referring to that obviously Hillary was wearing. There's good old Bill Clinton. And I had this one part highlight here. It says, Clinton has, however, denied being an Epstein's pedophile in Little St. James, a denial which Donald Trump sought to cast doubt on this week. And guys, everyone knows as soon as this information came out, he put out that stupid fucking statement a couple months ago when Epstein got arrested, pretty much distancing himself, saying their engagements, their relationship was very casual, wasn't anything insanely serious. But as we all know, he was on the Lolita Express 26 times and had many contributions to the Clinton Foundation, and there's even claims that Epstein helped found the foundation for the Clintons. So he can sit there and say that all he wants. When you find a picture like this inside the man's apartment in his mansion, what the actual fuck? What is this? You can't tell me you just had a casual relationship. You don't have pictures of yourself in your wife's supposed dress and red heels in his apartment. Come on, man. People aren't stupid. Eventually, these guys aren't going to be able to go out in public anymore. There's just no way. Him and his wife. And don't be surprised if they start saying that their health's declining and they're gonna mysteriously pass away, because I can see that coming soon. So that's all the updates on Epstein, guys. I know it's been overload Epstein lately, so I'm gonna be throwing in different topics today just to mix it up a little bit. So if you guys aren't aware, Project Veritas is a great follow on Twitter and actually on their website. They do a lot of investigative journaling, undercover stuff, and they've been big going after big tech, Google, YouTube, Twitter, all the social media giants and all that stuff. So they leaked Google documents recently, I think just yesterday, just more proof that of the blacklist they make for conservative content on all social media and Google itself, completely changing and altering the reality of people that use Google, and mostly everybody in the world uses Google. So this was by the Gateway Pundit. Headline reads, Project Veritas leaked Google documents prove tech giant is censoring. Rush Limbaugh, Gateway Pundit, which is this website here. Newsbusters, MRC TV, Daily Caller, which I get a lot of content from as far as articles, Michael Malkin, etc. And it's funny because it just goes into, I'm not going to get into a lot of this right here. I want to get into the next video directly from Project Veritas, because we all know already, guys, that Google is censoring, YouTube is censoring the shit out of everybody. All the social media platforms are, and it's funny because when I type in Gateway Pundit, usually there's a hit piece that comes first, smearing Gateway Pundit, and then maybe about 3 or 4 headlines down, you can actually find the Gateway Pundit website, and it's rampant all over media, guys. And that's why I get so infuriated when Trump calls out these big tech companies and they kiss his ass when they're in the Oval Office with them, claiming there's no bias, guys. Mr. President, everything is equal. There's no political bias in any of our algorithms, and it's complete bullshit. It's a slap to our faces. We're not stupid. So that's that. But my whole point in bringing this all up, I want you guys to see how far Google will go to go after anyone that goes rogue against their company. And that's the clip I'm going to show you from the actual interview from Project Veritas. It's going to be about 2.5 minutes long. It's not too long, but I just want to see, I want you guys to see the reality of the situation, that if you do go against this company, this is what's going to happen to you. And here it is. This is I can't remember his name right now. Let's see. We'll just call him the whistleblower because I don't remember his name at this moment. So I'm going to put myself over here, and we're going to play this right here.
Yeah, I've got your data. Yeah, and so what I did is I put out a dead man switch so that in case they were going to either try to destroy my life through the legal system or that they were trying to just, off me because, I'm exposing a really big thing, how they are tampering with elections. I wanted to let them know that, hey, look, if something were to happen with me, then these documents are going to be released immediately.
And what is a dead man switch for those who aren't familiar with that?
So a dead man switch is something that people that have information about a corporation or somebody else, and they're concerned about their personal safety and possibly their life. And what they do is that they let that entity know that in the case that they get offed, that the information will be released to the public. And so I set up a dead man switch to trigger in the case that I was killed or assassinated. And so I let them know that I was willing to do that and to protect myself. The next day, the police began looking for me in 2 different locations. So Google decided to do a wellness check. And from what I've understood from other attorneys is that they're trying to establish that I've got some sort of mental problem in order to make their case easier. And this is a large way in which they intimidate their employees that go rogue on the company.
San Francisco police confirmed to Project Veritas that they did indeed receive a, quote, mental health call, unquote, and responded to Zach's address on that day.
Are you worried about your safety?
I was because, because the documents hadn't been released yet, the value of taking me off the chessboard was really high. And the expense of, taking me down, in which I wasn't well known, was very low. If nobody knows who somebody is, then if they take them off, then it's a conspiracy theory that the real reason was because of some nefarious cause. And so what I realized is that I needed to both increase the expense that Google would take to do something bad and also reduce the value of that successful operation.
There you have it, guys. So Google had pretty much sent him a letter, this whistleblower here, giving 6 demands stating that he needed to give up the list of people he gave. He dropped, it was like 900 pages of documents showing how the algorithms work, how they are continuously using their algorithms to censor conservative right-wing content on all social media and Google, and demanded a list, 6 different things. I don't remember everything, but it was pretty much a list of who you sent the information to, who you spoke with, where were you at that time, and all this other stuff. And you can see what they did to him. They made... Everyone knows if you have information that's going to bring down a huge corporation like Google, you have to watch your back. Anyone that has any common sense knows that. If no one knows who you are and somehow someone offs you and you disappear, it's easy to, just like he said, hey, it's a conspiracy theory. He just disappeared. We don't know what happened to him. And the world just moves on, right? So he came to Project Veritas originally back in June. And he had like he was blacked out. He had the hoodie on. You couldn't see who he was. He was let go, and then he put his face out there, mainly to protect himself in case anything did happen to him. He would have a name to his face, and Google would be in a shit ton of trouble if anything were to happen to him. It would raise a lot of alarms, right? But you see what they do, though. He said straight to Google to get ahead of it. If you send anybody after me, I'm going to release these documents regardless, and it's going to look even worse on you. They made it looked like to the police that, hey, we have a rogue employee here that he's going nuts. He's got mental problems. We need to do a wellness check. And they send the police after you guys. This is what they do to intimidate guys. This is how far Google is to, control what they're doing out there, guys, to control the reality of search engines in people's worlds. This is the sick shit that is going on. So you guys can watch the full interview. It's about 20 minutes long. It's really good. And it goes into more of his story, but that was the main crux of what I wanted to show you guys there. And it's crazy stuff, guys. It's really crazy stuff. We already know this stuff's going on. I'm hoping, I believe Trump's going to landslide 2020, and I hope in that time frame we're going to see some antitrust and regulation of these companies, and the censorship will go. And channels like this and all the other guys that I know and gals that do this, their channels are going to thrive, and we're going to become the new news. That's the goal. That is what we need, because we can't trust the TV anymore. So that's that. Good stuff, right? And just a side story, I wanted to throw this in there. You guys probably remember the Squad. Some shit came up with what's her face here? I can't remember her stupid name. Yeah, Rashida Tlaib. Israel originally wasn't going to let her in with Omar because they pretty much back up what's it called, BDM or something like that, a terrorist group who's against Israel, anti-Jewish. And it says, this article from Reuters says Israel has decided to block a visit by U.S. Democratic members of Congress Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. Israeli Deputy Foreign Minister Dzipi Hoteveli said on Thursday, the decision has been made. The decision does not allow them to enter, Hoteveli told Israel's Reshet radio. But apparently, a day before this, a leaked email or a letter, whatever it was, I have a picture of it, was sent to Israel from Tlaib here. And we have it right here. The letter Representative Rashida Tlaib sent to Israeli Interior Minister Ari Deri, I'm so bad at pronouncing names, requesting a visit to her family in the West Bank, in which she promises to respect any restrictions and not promote boycotts against Israel during my visit. And it says right here, Mr. Deri, I would like to request admittance to Israel in order to visit my relatives, and specifically my grandmother, who is in her 90s and lives in that West Bank. This could be my last opportunity to see her. I will respect any restrictions and will not promote boycotts against Israel during my visit. And Mr. Deri has just announced that he will grant Representative Tlaib an entry for her visit to family. Minister Deri decided to allow her entry into Israel and expressed hope she would stand by her commitment and that the visit would indeed buy for humanitarian needs only, he said. And then the next thing you know, today she's screaming that she's not going to go to Israel now and that they are racist. And not only that, the mainstream media picked this up and said Trump was whispering into Israel's ear saying not to let them in regardless of any of this, which is all bullshit. So again, this is the new face of the Democratic Party, and they are repeatedly going to the narrative of racist. Everyone that's white is racist. Everybody's just racist against them. I can't stand these people. Cannot stand them. That's where I'll leave this. I just wanted to drop that in there because it really pissed me off, and figure you guys should know it. All right. Let's see. Some of my links here have died, and I'm gonna try to get into here real quick. If this one doesn't pull up, it's okay. This is just about the Horowitz report, which we've heard news on many times before. The Horowitz report, if you guys don't already know, once this loads up, hopefully I'll see my highlighted part so we can get to the meat of it. He's going to be the one doing the IG report about the FISA warrants and all that. He is investigating the beginning of where the Russia collusion investigation actually started, because we all know the Mueller report that it came out was all bullshit. And we've heard many times, guys, and I fell for it being new to this a few months ago, whenever we hear that, oh, it's going to be out on Wednesday, it's going to be out on this date, it doesn't happen. So until it actually happens, I'm not holding my breath, but pretty much in this article, it's loading really slowly, so I'm not going to go into all this here. They're pretty much waiting for Congress to reopen again because they are on break now. And apparently it's going to be released maybe sometime in September. So we'll have to see what happens with it. It's a 448-page report detailing Special Counsel Robert Mueller's 2-year Trump investigation. Next up, Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz report into how the investigation started. So that's really all I wanted to get into that. It's coming. We've been hearing that for a long time now. We got to have patience. I know it's super frustrating. The wheels of justice are so slow. We want that, that kick to the cabal's face, right? That's what we want. We want Comey to go down, which he's going to. I know people are right here. I'll read this actually. Former FBI Director James Comey received good news a couple weeks ago. Remember this, guys. Everyone was super upset when this news came out. When the DOJ decided not to charge him over leaking his memos despite a criminal referral from Horowitz, who concluded Comey leaked classified information and showed a lack of candor, but the leak inquiry was just a narrow slice of the broader investigation Horowitz launched in March of last year. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys. Just because he got off on this small, I guess you could say small charge of leaking classified memos, Comey is not out of it. That's just a small part of the investigation. He's going to get nailed because he approved 3 of the 4 FISA applications that were based off the Steele dossier that we all know is bullshit. And the Steele dossier is what the media took and ran with and started this whole entire narrative that Trump was working with Russians to get into the presidency, right? We all know the story. I'm not going to go into any further than that. Just wanted to drop that in there, guys. So now we're going to be shifting gears completely from any politics or any Epstein, and we're going to be getting in some awesome stories that I've been waiting to get into because I love space stuff, UFOs, secret space programs. Give it to me all. I love it. And this one, again, this is on XO News. The creator of this website is Dr. Michael Salla. And he's talking about Navy's advanced aerospace tech boss claims key UFO patent is operable. The application for the Navy's most bizarre patent, a hybrid aerospace/underwater craft, describes the craft as utilizing the room temperature superconductor technology in high energy electromagnetic fields to enable its incredible speed and maneuverability. According to the patent application, the propulsion and maneuverability of the craft is due to an incredibly powerful electromagnetic field that essentially creates a quantum vacuum around itself, or a force field that allows it to ignore aerodynamic or hydrodynamic forces and thereby remove its own inertial mass from the equation. After the patent for a room temperature superconductor was initially rejected, Dr. Sheehy personally vouched for its existence, declaring that the RTSC is operable and enabled via the physics described in the patent application. Navy patent attorney Glut blamed the patent examiner's initial rejection of the RTSC on an adherence to perceived mainstream science to indicate the concept was not possible. By federal law, false statements to the USPTO are punishable by fine or imprisonment. If the Navy has indeed managed to develop operable room temperature superconductors and electromagnetic force fields, these technologies would revolutionize warfare in ways not seen in centuries, leading to a paradigm shift in civilian technology as well. A 2019 Nature article supports Paez and Sheehy by stating, experimental data now confirms superconductivity at higher temperatures than ever before. It seems more likely than ever that the dream of room temperature superconductivity might be realized in the near future. So why would the military make these next generation technologies public? With so many new aerospace technologies on the brink of development, perhaps this is an attempt to essentially weaponize patents by sowing doubt among our adversaries or even create confusion among the American populace. So what this is pretty much talking about, guys, is, as in my last videos, I talked about the TR-3B, which is that triangular craft that is run by this electromagnetic energy that essentially creates a force field around the craft and it bends time and space as it moves. And what that allows is pretty much it can go anywhere at any angle, shift, turn at breakneck speeds, and go super, super fast. And again, as I've stated, anytime I bring this technology up, if this is coming out now, it means that this has been decades in the making, that this technology has been around, and the fact that it's being leaked to the public now is great. And it's going to change the world once it's actually out. And it's just really good stuff. And as far as the talking about the underwater craft, I've seen so many videos of, it looks like those they look like little pills, like tiny pills or cylindrical craft that are, I can't describe it, like a little stretched out rectangle that dart in and out of the ocean waters. And this is what this stuff is, and people are constantly seeing reporting UFOs, especially the Navy, and I believe some of it is ETs. Some of it could be the TR-3Bs using this new technology and testing it out, and the people that are creating it are saying it's actually operable. And if they're saying it's operable, that means it's been tested and flown and proven that it works. So good stuff right there. And the other article here, which is also amazing, by Exopolitics, same author, Dr. Michael Salla, U.S. Navy regards electromagnetic propulsion and Tesla shield patents as operable. The first time the Navy intervened concerned Dr. Pai's patent application for a hybrid aerospace underwater craft, which we just talked about, which would generate a quantum vacuum electromagnetic bubble around the craft, enabling it to move through air and water at tremendous velocities. Here's how they summarize the capabilities. In the Navy's patent application, it's claimed that the radical abilities of propulsion and maneuverability are made possible thanks to an incredibly powerful electromagnetic field that essentially creates a quantum vacuum around itself that allows it to ignore aerodynamic or hydrodynamic forces and remove its own inertial mass from the equation. Thus, the ability to generate such high-frequency electromagnetic waves is key to the alleged abilities of this theoretical hybrid craft that can soar near effortlessly through air and water at incredible speeds with little to no resistance or inertia. And again, guys, it's a triangular, right? You think these guys that are making this stuff just decided on a triangle? Let's make it triangle looking. Guys, this is re-engineered craft found by our ET brothers and sisters, most likely from Roswell, that was re-engineered since the 50s, and this stuff has been worked on ever since. And we're almost 2020 now, guys. This shit is more advanced than it ever has been. And we have it. It's been used. It is operable. And again, this is a slow drip of disclosure. So in short, Paez and his employer are claiming his inventions actually work. In addition to Sheehy's letter of support, a letter was also written on behalf of Paez and his patent attorney, Mark Glut, who emphasized the room temperature superconductor invention was both operable and enabled. In addition to the HUAC discussed earlier, another successful patent is the high-energy electromagnetic field generator, which is essentially an electromagnetic force field. The patent significance was explained by Tingley. In the patent for this force field, the technology is described as being able to create what is essentially a force field straight out of science fiction, one that could generate an impenetrable defense shield to sea and land, as well as space-based military and civilian assets, protecting these assets from such threats as anti-ship ballistic missiles, radar-evading cruise missiles, top attack for main battle tanks, land and sea-based systems, as well as counteracting the effects of solar-induced coronal mass ejections or defending critical military satellites in an anti-satellite role. The similarity to Nikola Tesla's electromagnetic shield is striking. Back in the 1930s, Tesla proposed an electromagnetic shield based on scalar waves, explained as follows. Scalar waves can be warped into a dome around objects such as cities or houses, publishing companies included. Such a scalar wave force field is generally known as a Tesla shield and would be analogous to the shields referred to in the popular Star Trek series. Tesla shields have a definite defensive application and cannot in any way be used for offensive purposes, although a platoon of soldiers charging into a Tesla shield would be instantly disintegrated. The only defense from a blast of a scalar wave howitzer would be a Tesla shield. So guys, you're talking about insane high-tech stuff here that Tesla was working with back in the 30s. And I keep telling people, you have to watch I think it's down here, Above Majestic. And that's where my red pill started, guys, and it gets into the secret space programs, and it really goes back into how far this stuff was actually being tested on, the technologies that were being used, guys. This stuff was around pre-World War II. This is when it started. The technology's out there. It has been hidden from us. None of this stuff, this isn't science fiction anymore, guys. We got alien tech, we re-engineered it, and now we have it. And the public has no idea. And when we're talking about these propulsion systems, guys, these ETs use this all this electromagnetic energy, and they travel between solar systems and even universes. And I get this information from insiders that were in the secret space programs that are out there. You guys just have to find it. This stuff is real. Check out Corey Goode. He was in the space program, and he talks about these kind of technologies. Traveling to different universes and star systems. When you look at our technology and you look at our cars, guys, how long have we had? We've had vehicles since what, the 1930s, 1920s? None of it's advanced, but we're still on fucking four wheels. We still run on gas engines. We still run on the electrical power grid that we have to pay for. The technology is out there, guys, and it's just waiting to be used for the mass public. And it's going to change everyone's lives. Can you imagine being able to go cross country in just a few minutes from one side to the other? That technology exists, and it is being used, and the military has it. Pi's patents flow as an intimidating river of mumbo jumbo. These are some physicists. This one's from the University of North Carolina, which I'm going to make a statement about right after I read what he said. His patents flow as an intimidating river of mumbo jumbo that most trained physicists would recognize as nonsense. Although many might simply disengage in confusion, and there are always some who might even be credulous of what, however, is hard to say, as it is not really clear what Pi's is even claiming, apart from the room temperature superconductor, which, if it were true, would be huge news. Pi's deploys fairly sophisticated babble to make this sound plausible to those who know what real physics sounds like but don't understand much of it, which is likely to include most patent examiners, journalists, and Pi's own enablers in the Navy. Now, it's funny because you have a physicist here who only knows basically what our human being, our race knows about physics. And guys, I can tell you it's extremely limited. Watching the documentaries that I have, hearing the people speak about the interactions they've had with ETs, the super advanced ones, we do not know. Our version of physics, I'm not going to say isn't true, but it's not advanced. There's a whole entire scope of physics that we don't even know about. And I can say that because the physicists, the scientists, the engineers who have worked on ET craft had no idea what they were looking at, how it was made, how they could find craft, how a craft could be used without having any kind of jet propulsion or gas or anything like that. How did it move? Because these craft existed. They crashed onto our planet. They were picked up by our military, secret space programs, whoever. It was taken apart, and over the years, guys, since the 50s, and even before that, we've been learning and re-engineering this technology, and we know how to use it now. And for physicists who have never worked on, don't know anything about secret space programs, don't even believe in aliens, don't believe in any of this shit, they're going to say that. Because their scope of the world is super limited. The physics that they know are only what's been taught in the books on this planet. All this sounds crazy, right? If you guys aren't into this stuff, but it's very true. It's extremely true. You guys need to watch. It's right here, Above Majestic. Go follow Corey Goode. Go find his content. Go find Jordan Sather. All these guys. Corey Goode was in the secret space programs, and he can vouch for all this stuff. It's real. So, this is just Twitter. So, that's all I have for you today, guys. I wanted to get back into it, just to give you some updates again on Epstein. We talked about just a little bit of Q. Today's 8/16. I thought Q was going to return to actually yesterday, because Dan Coates' official resignation was of yesterday. But guess what? Tomorrow is the 17th. Would it be ironic if Q came back on the 17th? I think it would be amazing. We haven't heard from that. We haven't heard from Q since August 1st, which is fine. Everything's still good. Nobody should be nervous. No one should be upset. Q's going to be back. It's only a matter of time, and the party is just getting started. So guys, if you like my content, again, please subscribe, please like, please share, please show all your friends and your family. Just get the word out there, guys. Support independent media, support this channel, and turn off the TV. That's all I got to say about that. So I'm going to probably be back on regular schedule, guys, doing videos every other day. That is my goal. I'm feeling 100% again. So maybe you'll see me Sunday, maybe tomorrow, in case something big breaks. But until then, stay woke.